But if you see food as energy and fuel, then, I mean, if he's got a BMW, you're not going to put regular no-name brand gas in that car. I have a Subaru WRX, and my husband said from day one, do not put anything but premium in this car. And I said, absolutely not. It's our sports car and we love it. It's the same thing with your body though. If you put McDonald's in it every single day, you're gonna be a whole different person from somebody who eats like this every single day. I had a client who, she heard me talk at Rock Your Biz network meeting, and we each got 5 minutes to speak. So I was just telling her about I was telling everybody how I was following the trend. Everybody told how they came into their business and blah, blah, blah. So I was following suit. And she loved what I said so much that she came up to me after. I'd never met this person in my life. I love you. You have to tell everybody what you're doing. Everybody needs you, and I need you to cook for me 7 days a week. And I said, sweetie, I don't cook for myself or my husband 7 days a week. I'm not cooking for anybody that many days. I can't do that. And she said, but you don't understand. I wake up to sugar highs, a fasting sugar of 14. I'm retaining water in my legs. I'm angry all the time. I said, well, what are you doing? She said, I'm not sleeping. I work all the time. I don't go to bed, and I work all day, and then I'm at my computer at 10 o'clock at night, and I don't eat anything all day, and I put on so much weight. And I said, okay, we can do something here. So I talked to her, and we put together, I said, dinner 3 days a week is not going to do anything for you. You need a full-on meal plan to just reboot your system. And so we worked together, and I did a full meal plan for her, a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner. So I made this awesome chia pudding, which is full of protein and fiber. And so she would have that for breakfast, and then I do a simpler salad with hummus for lunch, because that chia pudding, if you have it at 9 o'clock at night, you're good until 2, 3 in the afternoon. Like, you don't even want to see food in between that, because it's so filling and nutritious. So I'd make a lighter lunch for her, and then she'd have the dinner that I'd make for all the clients. And so I said to her, I would like you, and we were doing it 5 days a week. I was still only cooking 3 days, but I sectioned it off to cover the 5 days for her. And I asked her to pay attention to, at the end of 1 week, how your body feels after you've eaten nothing but the food I've given you. Don't eat anything else except what I have given you to eat for these 5 days. Just do this 1 week for me. At the end of the week, I met her up to give her her Friday dinner, and she hugged me and held on to me, and she said, Kiran, I'm waking up to normal fasting levels of 5.2. My legs don't feel heavy. I'm not retaining water in them anymore, and I'm a happier person. I feel better overall. And I said, that's awesome. That was all the validation that I needed to know that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm like on the right path. And so then she tested it. She went out to dinner with her nephew and niece over the weekend, and they went for Chinese buffet, and she called me on Monday. She said, I don't know why I did this to myself. I felt like crap after. I said, yeah, I know exactly how you feel when I eat like this all week, and then I decide to go to the movies and have fries and popcorn at the theater, and I've got a sharp pain in my stomach while the movie's going on, and I'm like, damn you, sugar. Why did you have to, turn me against you like this? And you persevere through the pain, and then you swear that you're never going to do it again, and the next week comes. I love to cook. I love to eat much more than I love to cook, but not a lot of people cook for me. And I'm not made of money, so I can't go out and eat every day. But I've always been cooking since I was a little girl. When my mom decided to turn vegetarian, and we were not yet. And I couldn't make dinners. I could make lunches and breakfasts, but not dinners. So I started picking up things from different people, from my parents and different relatives all over the place. And I discovered that I love to show my love for people, love of people through my food. Everybody would always say, even when I was much younger, oh my God, this tastes so good. I could really taste the love in it. I used to think it was a line they're feeding me anyways. Just, people come to your house and they have your food. They're not going to insult you and say, this was the worst meal I've ever had. I'm never coming back here again. So I always used to say, oh, thanks so much, thinking, oh, so I'd ask somebody that I could trust, like my now husband, dude, how does it taste? It's got too much salt. See what I mean? They told me they loved it. It's too salty. Awesome. I come from a construction background, in industrial maintenance and construction. And I've had several businesses throughout the last 30 years, and some very successful and some not so successful. Food was just a passion. Food and music, my two passions, two things I could talk about from now till the cows come home. And there was what at the time seemed to be a tragedy to me, which was actually a catalyst to getting onto this path, to a year ago, almost to the date a year ago. And I got out of the construction industry, and while I was spiraling into a deep depression because I thought that company was my life, that was my future, I had built it up, and I was happy doing what I was doing. I always knew that it was not what I was supposed to do in life, and that I had a greater purpose, and it had something to do with serving people, helping people. But I've been in sales my whole life. This is what I know how to do, and I do it well, and I was earning a good income. So I thought, okay, this is it. And then things changed. And so I'm spiraling out of control in a deep, deep depression, just crying and sad every minute of my life, of the day. And then somebody close to me, very, very close to me, discovered that they had MS. I think it's non-progressive, meaning that she's not in a wheelchair, but symptoms flare up and they're bad. And she, off and on over the years, I've cooked for her and she's liked my food. And she said, after she did all her research and talked to all her doctors and stuff, she found that there was a particular diet that she could follow that will help to prevent the symptoms from flaring up on a frequent basis and help her lead a much more normal life. And she was a young mom with babies and a very thriving business, and she was withering away to nothing. And I, on the other hand, was spiraling into depression. And so I said, no problem. You know what? I'm happy to follow the diet. It's not complicated, but with the kind of life she was leading, she couldn't keep up with it, and I had nothing going on. And so I said, sure. So I followed the instructions, did all the research, and started doing the cooking for her. And it's been a year now, and she's had no flare-ups, which is totally awesome. So in May, she and her husband said to me, why don't you try to make this into a business? Because I'm not the only one who's unwell. There must be a lot of other people. And by that time, we had had a lot of deaths in our family friends circle, and most people had died from diabetes. And I had reached my breaking point with that whole thing, thinking diabetes is a preventable illness, and people are just either not paying attention to what their doctors are telling them, or they're being lazy or something, but somebody needs to help these people from dropping down dead of something that they could have prevented. And so I talked to my husband about it, and I said, dude, do you really think that people would be willing to pay me to eat my food? Like, you've got to be kidding me. And he said, absolutely, why wouldn't they? It tastes good. And I said, yeah, but I know you're biased. So I asked around to people, our friends and stuff, who I would cook for now and then, and they said, absolutely. So I said, okay, well, I have nothing else. I have nothing going on. Might as well give it a try. I told my husband, I said, well, I don't want this to just be a takeout business. I have to have there has to be a purpose behind doing this. And my purpose in life, I know that since I was a little girl, I've always known it's to help people. So I'm going to make it a nutrient-rich healing foods company. I find that the word healthy food has been bastardized and thrown around so often that people just blanket like it's not even there. And that's why I was very specific to say that our food is healing, because every single vegetable, herb, and spice that goes into making a meal will do some good for your mind or your body, or your body. And word started spreading, and put together a Facebook page, and people started liking it and asking me to send meals their way, and here we are today. So I had somebody put together a website, and then I met great people like yourself and went to networking events where I could meet other people who I think might be interested, and so fingers crossed. It'll go I think I'm on the right path. I feel like I'm on the right path. I got my food handler certificate, so now I can reach out to cancer centers, diabetic centers, and people who really need the help. I mean, I'm happy to cook for everybody and anybody who wants the food, but my main focus is people who are suffering with food intolerances, illnesses, anything like that. I have one client, she is a cancer survivor. Her husband is diabetic and they have 2 babies, and they decided to order from me magically one day on Friday gone. Friday I decided I was gonna make falafels. Never made falafel a day in my life. And not only am I gonna make falafel, I'm gonna make Egyptian falafel, not from chickpeas, but from fava beans. That's how they're traditionally made. Got all my ingredients. It doesn't look like a falafel. It looks like a lentil patty. I'm in big trouble. And of all days that a new customer decides to order 4 servings of a meal is on this day that I've never made any of these dishes. Great. She messaged me the next day. She said it was a fabulous meal. And I was really, really happy. I checked with a couple of my regular clients who buy regularly every single week, and I said, "Are you sure? Was she lying? Is it really good?" And they were like, "No, it was so delicious." One girl said to me, "I didn't even share it with my family." So I said, "Thank God." Okay. The best way is to contact me either through the website. There's an ordering form online, and which I will be changing a little bit. It needs a little bit of a doctoring to it to ask for more information. It's really important when somebody orders a meal that they let me know exactly what's happening to them, if they have a gluten intolerance, if they're allergic to nuts, if they have IBS, because even though I plan the menu every Sunday and I post it on the Facebook page and on the website, it's then custom designed for that particular person's needs. My husband and I are vegan, so I won't cook anything that isn't vegan. But I do tell my customers, you don't need to be a vegan to eat a vegetable. And if, let's say it's summertime and it's barbecue season, if you do all the barbecue, I will bring all the sides. And at least you're getting some form of good nutrition into your body. 99% of my customers are not vegan at all. In fact, they're not even vegetarian. They're omnivores like everybody else. I only have one client, I think, who is. And so far, I don't have any complaints. I don't force the food down anybody's throat. It's only available 3 days a week. So you have, out of the 21 meals that we need to eat in a 1 week span, if you make 3 of them vegan, you're not gonna die from eating too much broccoli, and your body might actually thank you for it.